Congratulations, Finkley, for your win as the South Carolina Black Pages 20 under 40.
I just want to say I love you and I appreciate everything you do.
Everyone needs a little encouragement sometimes.
William Brooks is with us to give us the encouragement we need.
Focusing on the fire, you ain't gonna see the blessing. So no matter what's going on, what are the things that are good in your life?
All coming up next on The Michael Finkley Show.
Welcome to The Michael Finkley Show. I'm Michael Finkley. Today is Friday, October 16th, 2020. Yo, we at the end of the week. Take some time for the weekend. For you, right? For you. Just for you. You've been helping others all week, guiding and directing and assisting. Now do that for yourself. Get yourself re-energized. Get your muscles flowing, all that kind of good stuff. You deserve it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Michael Finkley Show and ring that bell for notification, and we'll send you an email saying, hey, new content is uploaded. Thank you so much to our viewers, our subscribers, our future viewers, our future subscribers. Hey, we're here to inform, educate, and inspire, and we're bringing you shows that you need to hear and that you want to hear as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all, I had a great week this week. I really had a great week this week. I came home tired at times, but because of that, I assisted so many and still am, so I'm satisfied. So I'm going to take this time for me. Please join me, right? Today's show, I'm telling you, we have another special guest to inform you and to educate you and also to inspire you as well. We have Mr. William Brooks with us. William, he has an awesome book out, The 3 No's That Every Young Male Should Know. Also, he's a motivational speaker, he's an entrepreneur, I'm telling you, and so many things are coming into pipeline for him. It is just ridiculous, but always in a good way. So, the next voice you will hear after our commercial break, none other than Mr. William Brooks. Don't you go away. It's a show you don't want to miss. We'll be right back.
Next, we chat with Mr. William Brooks. We'll be right back. On the next Michael Finkley, Wednesday, we are chatting with the change agents of Mullins, South Carolina. We have Pastor Brian McKnight, Kelly Williams, and M. Christian Phillips. Don't you dare miss the next Michael Finkley.
Looking for a mentoring program for your young male between the age of 6 and 18 in Columbia, South Carolina? Well, look no further. Big Homie, Little Homie Mentoring Program is the program for you.
Under the leadership of Mr. Jamal Stroud, Big Homie, Little Homie is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that caters and mentors at-risk youth that come from single-parent homes. The organization caters to young males between the ages of 6 and 18 within the greater Columbia area. The organization is devoted to shaping and molding their life into great men of society. Big Homie, Little Homie organizes male gatherings, discussions, and even educational assistance devoted to guiding and leading them into a positive light. Making a positive attitude will help in transforming their life regardless of what is experienced in life. For more information on Big Homie, Little Homie Mentoring Program, visit our social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Y'all, we are still interviewing influential people that are motivating, inspiring, and educating others. And we have one of those persons here with us today. You all introducing Arthur, entrepreneur, father, encourager, inspirer himself, Mr. William Brooks. William.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother. Good to be here, man. Thank you for the invite. I appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for saying yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. I'll never told you no, brother.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. So why is William so positive?
You know, to be quite honest, when you see videos that I make, or I may make a quote, it's for me. It's
Really?
something for me. I'm inspiring me.
Hmm.
See, you understand that whenever we speak, our ears are our words.
Hmm.
So I'm inspiring myself, and I know the things that God gives me with the positivity, it's not just for me, it's for others. It's not for me to keep to myself. And if I kept it to myself, then God would not give it to me anymore, because he didn't give it to me to keep for me. So God gives it to me to share with the world.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's good. Have you always been this way?
No, absolutely not.
Really? Really? What are you
Absolutely
looking
not.
for?
I went through a lot. I went through a stint of depression in my life.
Mhm.
I went through times where I was probably one of the most negative people you ever want to be around.
Really?
And that was leading my life. And God tapped me on the shoulder, changed some other things in my life as far as my health and things like that. I was kind of letting health go to the left. And as I came back with my health and eating better and trying to take care of myself, it affected me on a psychological and emotional and, of course, a spiritual level.
Yeah.
And when that happened, everything in my life just changed.
Yeah.
And I get up every day to try to share that positivity, share that light in this dark place with others.
Hmm. I gotcha. Oh, wow. And especially in the world we live in today, it's needed. I
Absolutely.
it's so needed. So much is happening in the land, and I love the way you mentioned that you turned yourself around, including your health. I saw some pictures of you on social media, and you were, bigger than what you are
Yeah,
now. So,
I
how was
was.
that transition? What made you say, "Hey, I need to snap out of this and hit the gym and just start this weight loss journey"? How was that for you?
Well, I was always somebody. I did a little time in the National Guard, so I was in the military for a few years. So, I always
Thank you
took
for
care
your
of my body.
service.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. You're welcome. I always took care of my body, and I had a point in my life somewhere around my mid 30s, and I kind of just fell off. I kind of fell off. I started eating bad, and the irony is, when I wasn't taking care of my body, I found myself in bad friendships slash relationships. And I
Really.
tell people all the time, the mind and the body, they work together cohesively. And if
Hmm.
you're taking care of your body, if your health is not important to you, then it's easy for your mind to slip into places that your body has no place being
Hmm.
whatsoever. So as I was getting older, I think I was about 44 years old at the time, about
Okay.
6 years ago. And I would look in the mirror and I wasn't feeling good about myself because I know how my body has always looked.
Right.
And I have good genes. I thank the Most High God for that. And I always looked a little younger than I am.
Hmm.
And I my body falling off, and I looked at my life overall and what was happening in my life, and I said, you know what, I got to do something. We got two choices in this life. We can make change and we can make excuses.
Hmm.
A
Oh.
lot of excuses. And when
Hmm.
I got to the point, I said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. And I started getting up at 5 a.m. every morning. I was living in Atlanta, Georgia at the time. And I got up at 5 a.m. every morning. And I'm telling you, brother, I was hitting the gym for 6 days straight for about 6 months. And the more I went, the more I felt better about myself. My body started transforming. And more importantly, my thought process started transforming.
Hmm.
And as changed, my mind state changed and my philosophies changed. And I found that God would meet me in the gym, speak to me. And if you're someone who follows my Facebook or my Instagram, I'm usually in the gym no later than 6 a.m. in the morning.
Hmm.
And if you look at my Instagram, my Facebook, if you look at my posts, that is the time you will find the most profound posts that I make.
Gotcha.
Because as I'm in the gym and I'm sweating and I'm working out, I get clarity, mental clarity, and I can hear God's voice just like I'm listening to you. Not an audible voice, but God will speak to me in my own voice. And I know that it's God all the time. And so when that started happening, hey, I get up and I go to the gym, not just for my body to look better, but I know that I'm going to have an intimate relationship in that time, that hour and a half with God.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you want to hear what he has to say. All the
Absolutely.
things that he says are good. So we have
I got to
to
start my day with him.
motivate. There you
Other than
go.
that, where am I going?
There you go.
Where am I going?
Yeah.
I think the book says if a man's ways are directed by the Most High God, so then how can a man know his own way? So if you
We don't.
God, you think you going the right way, but that's carnal arrogance.
Yeah.
But when you're spending time with God and He's literally directing you, you're gonna know you're going the right way, and it's gonna be you're gonna all the right people, just like I'm talking to you, brother.
That's
I'm
it.
gonna run it.
God bless you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, and I love the way you put health and physical health and mental health together. How important is mental health today, especially for our Black males? How important is that today?
I know it's very important because number one, your feet can only go where your mind goes. Okay? You wouldn't even think to go in the refrigerator to make a sandwich unless you thought that thought in your mind first. So your feet are the servant to your mind. So if you're not feeding your mind the correct stuff, then your feet are incarcerated to bad thoughts. But if you are feeding your mind the correct stuff and your mental is correct, it is very important because you will be inadvertently taking your steps, your direction out of the path of your destiny because you're not in touch with He who put you here. And I'm not here to preach, but I just got to give you my own personal experience.
Go.
If you're not in touch with He who put you on the mission, because we all got a mission, whether you know it or not. If you're not in tune with that, for God to give you that mental clarity, you walking around as a blind man just groping his way through life. And then you become confident in your own ignorance, going the wrong way. So it's very important for your mental to be correct. And God put us in this body. See, people think that exercise is just for the physical aesthetics. That's why people will stop working out when the weather is conducive to that.
Right.
They won't work out no more because now they can put a big coat on or a sweater depending on where they are.
Right.
But exercise, it is a special connection which keeps your mind clear because your body is working like that. See, God had to put you here. You can't live in this three-dimensional realm without a body.
That's true.
And if you're taking care of that body, which your mind is housed in that body, then what's going on with your mental? If you're eating bad foods all the time, if you're not getting your blood pressure up, if you're not having oxygen getting to your brain optimally, then you're not going to have optimal thoughts. And your body will trick you and you will think that you're doing everything just right, but you're not. So it's very important, especially for Black man, any man, it's important to take care of your mind because your mind is everything. And if your mind is lost, brother, your life is going to follow.
Wow. And I love the way you put it together because a lot of people see it so separately, right? They're saying, I have to do this, then I have to do this instead of putting it all together and making it work for themselves.
And they never have time. And they never have people tell me, oh, I just don't have time. I don't have time. Let me tell you something. The only valuable commodity on this earth is time. That's it. Everything else can be replaced. I tell people all the time that money that you're chasing going to work and saying you don't have 30 minutes to do anything for your health, trust me, when your body gets sick and you have to lay it down in an untimely time, all that stuff chasing, your relatives are going to be at your house fighting over it.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody with a U-Haul connected to that hearse. You ain't taking nothing with you, brother.
I hope we never will.
Yeah, we got to take care of ourselves, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely. And so with that thinking, with that thinking of taking care of yourself physically, mentally, physically, spiritually as well, how has that assisted you with fatherhood?
Well, I thank God, for the blessing of being a father. I'm on my second round of kids. My older children I have a daughter that's 30, I have a son that's 27, and I have a son that's
Wait, what?
Yeah, I have a son that actually turned 20 on yesterday. So adult kids. And then now I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old, my daughters. Now, At the time when I was younger, I
Wow.
didn't self, I didn't have the relationship with God that I had. So I was not adapt to raise my kids and give them of myself the way I should, and they certainly deserved
Mhm.
because I was young. And that's become my passion to be an advocate for young people and let them know, and I'm not trying to get off topic, but let them know you need to take your time and learn yourself because you can only give of yourself what you possess.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
give you $100 if I'm sitting here and I only have $7 in my pocket. So in order for me to give something away, I have to first possess it. So
Mhm.
I didn't possess the knowledge, the skill, the spirituality, the things I need to really be a quality father.
Mhm.
Now, like my children, not at all. I sent the check. I did the mechanical stuff because I was young and I was inexperienced. But
Gotcha.
now, being a 50-year-old man, I have been equipped with the spirituality that I need and the wisdom that I need to have a quality relationship with my daughters and be everything to them that I weren't to my older children and
Mhm.
my father wasn't to me. And at the same time, by raising them right and giving them that type of spiritual guidance as a father, not only have I become a better father, but it has helped me get my healing.
Yeah.
And I tell anybody, whatever it is that you're dealing with or you're hurt from, you get your healing by giving that away. When you give away what you didn't get, that's how you get your healing, giving it away. So, yes, my relationship with God has certainly catapulted me into being a great father. And I thank God for that.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And it takes a big person to admit, I didn't do this, but now I've learned and now I'm on the right path, right? I'm on this right path now to do what I need to do because I did learn. And that's the whole gist about
Absolutely.
life. We learn. I tell people that if you say you know everything and you don't know, need to learn anything else, you might as well just go ahead and die because every day in life, you're supposed to learn something. And you're
But
supposed to
that
get
goes against the
better.
book for you to say that because the book says, he said, I will continue to perfect you until the day of my coming.
Yeah,
So, so that means if you perfect, if you've been perfected, then it's time for you to get out of here
that's
because
it.
this is a perfection of
Yeah,
learning, of becoming
yeah.
better, of evolving. So you're going
Mhm.
to always run into problems, issues, different hurdles. If he called you more than a conqueror, how can
Mhm.
you be that if you ain't never had nothing to conquer?
Gotcha. Exactly. I love this. When we come back, William, we're going to talk about you as a life coach and also as an author. We'll be right back.
Right.
Coming up, we talk about William as the life coach and author. We'll be right back. The Finkley Experience is an educational consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education. We assist parents and their students with the college process. We train school administrators, and we also partner with colleges and universities to assist with their first-generation population. To learn more about our consulting firm and to purchase our book and workbook, please visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. We are still chatting with Mr. William Brooks. I am telling you, he is laying down some knowledge for us today. If you're not getting something out of this conversation today, then something is wrong with you. But we're going to continue with our conversation. William, you are a life coach. What does that mean to you?
I'm going to give you a little history on it, and then it'll explain itself. I've always been that person that people would pick up the phone and ask me for advice.
Mm-hmm.
My friends, my younger brother, and because I've been through different vicissitudes of life, I would just naturally have the answer, and then they would know that they can call me. You call Will, he's gonna be able to help you out. Here, call my brother. Here, call my cousin. And I found out about this life coach certification, and I said, I read up about it, and it's people who help people in life and push people to become great and help people find their inner greatness, and just basically that, coaching them on different things of life that we all have to deal with. And I said, I've been doing this for free. You know, this is what I do it anyway.
Oh
So
man.
take the course and got my certification, and it's been working out. You know, and I have clients that call me. I do Zoom meetings. You know, prior to the whole COVID-19 situation, you know, I was able to, you know, be up close and personal, and I coach adults as well as youth.
Okay.
And again, just helping people realize their inner greatness, because you'd be surprised what you can say to somebody that may spark an idea that they just never thought of, because they haven't had the experience that you've had. And so once again, it goes back to my spirit of giving. If I've been through something and I've learned something from it, and I can keep the next person from going down that road and give them that information, then that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they're going to compensate me, then that's the icing on the cake. You know, my motivational a father who I look up to, everybody knows, is Les Brown. And I love to quote Les Brown. And in the quotes of the great Les Brown, he says, he describes success as doing something that you love to do and find somebody to pay you to do it. And so I live by that.
I love that, because I started this platform with the ideals of him, because you know, back in the day he had his own talk show, and I would just watch that, especially the reruns now, and just being encouraged by that. And this is why I have to get this platform together in order to reach the masses, to get the word out. You know, forget me, I want people to get the message. So I'm so glad you mentioned him. Yes, sir.
I met him last year. He's a great man.
I saw the picture. Yes. How was that? I met him last year.
Oh my God, he's a great man.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna throw this out here real quick. I was at a convention, and it had absolutely nothing to do with what I do. I was working a 9 to 5, and it was like a weekend. They had speakers come in, and the guy on the stage started describing the next speaker, and I'm sitting there because this is my, you know, my motivational dad.
Right.
And I'm like, where? I know Les Brown ain't here, right? And so I'm sitting like about 3 tables to the stage. He spoke. I'm sitting there like a kid at Six Flags, and I stepped out in the hallway. He was standing out there taking pictures, and I walked up to him and I shook his hand. I said, Mr. Brown, I said, I've been listening to you for years. I said, you inspire me more than anybody. I said, you're one of the greatest. And he looked at me and he mocked my voice. He said, Mr. Brown, I'm one of the greatest. He shook my hand, brother. He looked me dead in my face and he said, son, there's money in that voice. And he changed my life.
Wow.
He changed my life.
He called you son.
That's something I'll never forget.
Wow. Wow, that's
never
amazing.
Forget that moment. Absolutely.
So how have you used this experience to help others? What are some success stories that you can tell with us that just kind of stick with you present day?
Oh man. Of course, you mentioned I'm an author, and you know, I'm always I sell books on Amazon, but I'm always up close and personal. You know, no matter where I go, I'll approach young people. At Wendy's and McDonald's, wherever. If I'm at the mall, I'll approach young people. And it was a young man that used to work at a it's called Freddy's here in Houston. It's kind of like a McDonald's, with like a glorified McDonald's or Burger King. And he's like a fry guy. He's about 20 years old. And I would talk to him all the time, you know, on my cheat day. I'd sneak in there and get me some fries. And we would talk, and I actually gave him a book, signed it, gave it to him. I said, make sure you read this book. And after about a week, he said, you know, I read the book. He said, I got a lot out of it. And he said, you really encouraged and inspired me. And I believe it was about 6 months later, he quit that job and he got a job as a manager in a call center. Now, he went from working a fast food joint to a call center manager. And this guy was only like 21, 22 years old. And he said, wow, because of what you put in your book, he said, you inspired me to live what I want to do. And I didn't want to be in here making burgers, but I didn't know when, and I thought I had all the time in the world, but you let me know that, all we have is now. And when I hear stuff like, and to know, I inspired some young man that I could have been the only positive person in his whole life. And it caused him to do something and reach greater and dig inside of himself for his greatness. That's what I live for, brother.
Yeah.
That's worth more to me than someone handing me a check for $25,000. Honestly.
Yeah. You can't buy that feeling.
No, I can't buy that.
Oh my gosh. And I'm so glad you mentioned your book, The 3 No's Every Successful Young Man Should Know. Tell us about it. Please,
That's my
please
baby.
Tell us about it.
I want to tell you where the thought process came from, and then I'll lead into it.
Yeah.
I'm a barber. However, I don't actively cut hair full time anymore, but I've been a barber for over 22 years.
Okay.
And I was living in Atlanta, Georgia with my family. And I was cutting hair, of course. And my thought process was, Will, when you get a young man in your chair, you got about 35 to 40 minutes to not only put a great haircut on him, but put something in his head. Mm-hmm. And so what I would say to any young man that was 14 or 25, I said, there's 3 things that you don't want to do. And you can put yourself in a position to be successful. I said, number 1, don't get no police record, i.e. a felony. Number 2, don't have no babies by a woman that ain't your wife. Don't just be out here sleeping around. And number 3, don't ruin your credit. Mm-hmm. While I'm in the city of Detroit, by the time a young man is 22, 23 years old, most of the time we have all 3. Mm-hmm. Happens to a young man because we mature at a slower rate than women. Mm-hmm. Be honest, they're a little smarter than us. Yeah. You didn't cheat off another dude's paper, you cheated off a girl. So we have to admit that. So I said, this is what you do. I said, focus on school, focus on where you want to be, focus on your goals. Whoever you want to be by the time you're 30 years old, 25 years old, is highly predicated upon the decisions and the choices you make today. Mm-hmm. And usually by the time a man wakes up, he's around 30 years old, he decides, you know what, I want to settle down. I want a family. I want a wife, I want kids. But if he has a felony, he has 2 or 3 kids by 2 or 3 different women, he can only get someone who has ruined their life to the same degree that he has.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So that was my inspiration. And I had that in my head, brother, since 2007. Mm-hmm. And I didn't write the book until 2017.
Wow.
Someone asked me a question. My book coach, who I met on social media, the great Kenny Jones, he asked me, and I was just calling him. I just got my life coach certification, and I was asking him about speaking engagements, and I wanted some tips because he does a lot of speaking engagements. Mm-hmm. And he first asked me, he said, I see a lot of your posts and you have some profound stuff. Have you ever thought about writing a book? And I said, actually, yeah, I got a book in my head right now. And he said, well, when you going to write it? And I said, one day. And he asked me, why not today? Mm-hmm. I had no answers for him. He called me out. I had no answers.
There you go.
The next day, I went to the library and I wrote the entire first chapter of The 3 No's Every Successful Young Man Should Know by hand. I still have the manuscript where I wrote the first chapter by hand. And then I sat down and I just started writing, and I didn't stop writing. And to be quite honest, I'm going to put that out there. I wrote a 7-chapter book. You can put no limits on God. When you get in your flow with God, there is no time. God does not exist in time. Mm-hmm. Only we do. I sat down and I wrote a 7-chapter book, 120 pages in 3.5 weeks.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow, you were doing some writing.
I was writing, brother.
How?
I was writing. And so it's been very successful. It's been changing a lot of lives. The beautiful thing is when I get inboxes from some 16-year-old and his mom purchased the book about a month ago. And he says, Mr. Brooks, I just read your book. Thank you so much. I appreciate the inspiration. I'm going to look for a job. Mm-hmm. Or if a woman inboxes me and says, I bought your book for my 14-year-old son. And Mr. Brooks, I don't know what you put in it, but he done cleaned up his whole room. He got his shoes lined up. And I mean, he been getting up on time for school. I don't know what, and it does my heart well because I put in it. Mm-hmm. And she said, He don't even like to read, and he went and got a bookmark, and it's on his nightstand, and he's sleeping and reading it. When he wakes, brother, that once again is worth more than any money to me, to know that my words and my experience can reach back and influence and change the lives of some young man and woman around the globe.
Oh, that's amazing. You're the definition of your gift making room for you.
Absolutely.
Definitely, definitely.
All praises to the
What's
Most High God.
you better, or a rock will.
I don't take no credit, brother.
What's next for William?
Well, right now I am hoping that we can go into 2021 and come out of this whole COVID-19 situation, and life can go back to normal.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned, I do Zoom meetings and things like that. I do a lot of I even do on the phone consultations, whether it be teaching people how to eat better,
Mhm.
helping people exercise, because I'm about people totally being healthy in
Yeah.
their. And so I've been doing that, but I'm hoping things go back to normal, because I had some speaking engagements lined up that I want to go ahead and connect back with. Actually, I had one here in Houston at a major high school where I was set up to speak to about 1,500 young men. So
Wow.
that is what when I get on my knees at night and I pray to the Most High, I'm praying for that opportunity to open up, because I want to travel and I want to speak to young people, and I want to do that for the rest of my life.
I got you. I got you. Oh, that's so great. The world is waiting on you, William.
Absolutely.
Waiting on
I'm
you.
coming.
William, what encouraging words would you give persons that are experiencing or taking to heart what is happening within the world today? We have the pandemic, we have injustice, so many different things. What are some words of ease for them right now?
God is still on the throne, and it
Yes.
just see a lot of negativity and things that are not pleasing to the soul, not pleasing to the spirit on the news. Understand that there's always good going on. There's plenty of good going on.
Yeah.
You have individuals that want to create a reality where you think that's the only reality. We
Mhm.
live on a planet that spins 360 degrees on an axis it operates in polarity. So to have good, you got to have bad. To have hot, you got to have cold. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, evil exists, but there's plenty of good. And what I would encourage people to do is focus on the good. I tell people all the time, no matter what situation you're in, whatever you're dealing with, whatever's going on in your life, if you take your focus and your mind off of that thing that you're dealing with, because we all dealing with something,
Yeah.
take your focus off of that and look around. And I guarantee you, I made a video last week. I said, look for the blessing in the midst of the fire, because there's always a blessing in the midst of the fire. But if you focusing on the fire, you ain't gonna see the blessing. So no matter what's going on, what are the things that are good in your life? And when you focus on that and you show God gratefulness for the good, God will give you more to be grateful for. And remember, no matter what's going on in this earth, nothing can go on without the permission of God first. So that's why in my personal life, I make sure everything I get from God.
Mhm.
I'm gonna leave you with this. I had a job, a 9 to 5, I lost out of the blue about almost 2 years ago. I was going to work every day, doing everything I was supposed to do on time, overtime, working on Saturday, doing everything I was supposed to do, going to work like normal, model employee. I got called into the office at about 11:30 in the morning. I was actually on my way to lunch, called into the office with my director. The lady from HR was sitting there. You know, when you walk in there, you see that HR person sitting there, you're like, oh my God,
Right.
this ain't good. I sat down and they told me that unfortunately things were bad. I've been in the mortgage industry for years, and they were going to have to let go about myself and 5 other people. I sat there and I was moved for a minute, of course, because it came out of the blue. And I said this to them. I'm gonna leave you all with it. I said, if you'd have caught me 10 years ago, I probably would have been raveled and upset. I said, but in my life, I make sure everything I get from God.
Mhm.
Way, if I lose it, I know He already approved it, and I'm good with it.
You're good.
So make sure everything you get from God.
Mhm.
And when you get God, nobody can take it from you unless he's okay. And he got something better for you.
Bigger and better.
Absolutely.
Bigger and better.
Absolutely. Always.
Always. Always. William, how can they find you on social media and where can they purchase your book?
You can purchase my book. If you want to go to Amazon, you can get it directly from Amazon. Just go to Amazon Books, of course, type in my name as author, of course, William Brooks, the 3 knows every successful young man should know. And, don't trip because of the title, because every successful young woman needs to know what a successful young man looks like. So it's for women too.
There you go.
Absolutely. And you can reach me on Instagram. It is at williambrooks.det, as in short for Detroit. So that's at williambrooks.det, or on Facebook, pull me up under William Brooks. You will see the picture of myself and the great Les Brown as my profile picture. And get in contact with me. If you want to email me, you can email me at williambrooks.det@gmail.com. And I would love to personalize a book and I can ship it directly to you. If you get it from Amazon, it's going to come just Amazon. You get it from me, I'm going to personalize it, put an encouraging message in it. I'm going to put my signature in it, and I can get it to you within 5 to 10 business days.
All right, y'all heard that, because I'm getting mine. All right, y'all heard that, right?
All right.
Okay, you heard it. And all your information, William, is in the description below as well. Thank you so much, William, for being on and encouraging us today. Again, especially in the world we live in today. Thank you so much for your words.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, and God bless you for the great work that you're doing, brother. And I'm praying to God that he gives you everything that you're praying for and even more. He's going to blow your mind.
Wow, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hi there, it's Finkley. Do you want to become the next guest on the Michael Finkley Show? Do you have an incredible story to inform, educate, and inspire others? Well, you can. Email us at michael@thefinkleyexperience.com and follow us on our social media platforms. See you soon. On the next Michael Finkley, Friday, we are looking into the lives of photographers, and we're including Albert Bates, Kendra Johnson, Trell Martin, and Nelson Sanchez. It's a show you don't want to miss. Join us on the next Michael Finkley.
Everybody, welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Well, I'm going to ask you, what did you learn? What did you get today's show? So much good stuff was said. I'm just like, I wanted to just leap through the screen and just like, William, oh my gosh, where have you been all of my life? I'm telling you, a lot of good things were said, and I hope that you jotted them down, or if you need to go back and watch, please do that. I'm telling you, he gave some awesome jewels. William, thank you so much for your encouraging words, your inspiration. I'm telling you, it's going to last us. It's going to last us until the next time. And I'm telling you, you will be back. So thank you so much, and continue on in your various endeavors. If you love to reach out to William, his information is in the description below. Thank you so much. On the next Michael Finkley, now Monday, we're going to have a Flashback Monday. If you get my drift, right? We're going to feature one of our previous shows from the season. And again, we want you to watch it and just comment and just leave comments, right? Let's have a conversation in the comment section. I love it. Wednesday, we'll be chatting with the change agents of Mullen, South Carolina. These are just a few of them. There's so many more. There's just a few of them. My hometown, we have Miss Kelly Williams. We also have Minister Brian McKnight, not the singer, the minister, and also to Mr. Christian Mayo Phillips. These persons are doing up in our hometown because change needs to be made. And again, with their energy, their youth, they can get it done. So we'll be chatting with them on Wednesday. I'm so excited about it. Again, if you have not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Michael Finkley Show, and ring that bell for notification. And we'll see an email saying, hey, new content's uploaded. If you'd love to be a guest on The Michael Finkley Show, please email us at michael@thefinkleyexperience.com. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a good weekend. And guess what? I'll see you Monday. Have a good one.